It's also
What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Wish that I could stay forever this young. Not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game made for every. All right, everybody. Let's back that up just a hair. All right, are we ready? Let's get this squared up here. All right, good to be with you guys. All right, here we go. Opening affirmations and a little self-confidence formula. If you don't have this one, you should. It's in your script book. Little Napoleon Hill. The first 20 pages, you think you are rich, and here we go. First, I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward its aim, and I here now promise to render such action. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually produce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking the person I am become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Third, I know through the principle of suggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression for practical means to attain the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I develop self-confidence towards aim. I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all of an effect. I will succeed by attracting myself the force I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfish cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat aloud once a day with full faith that the gradual influence my thoughts and actions, so I will become a self-reliant, consistent person. Hoorah! All right, here we go. Let's jump to the 12 steps to the summit of success. Here we go. This is a 12-step formula, minimum standards, which, when followed with exactness in a positive environment, guarantees 24-plus transactions annually and has a personal growth and achievement. 1. I dedicate 1 hour daily towards building and protecting my self-confidence. 2. I practice and internalize my sales skills for a minimum 1 hour each day. 3. I contact my sphere of influence by mail, by phone, and or in person, and by email quarterly. 4. I make 150 contacts per week, 30 plus per day, by phone or in person. 5. I follow up with all my qualified leads daily. 6. I set 5 plus 2 appointments per week with buyers or sellers. 7. I can briefly qualify 100% of my appointments. 8. I have an appointment attended to listing taken ratio at least 50% or greater. 9. I call all my sellers weekly to solve listings every 3 weeks, a minimum of 5%. 10. I sell 75% or more of my listing inventory. 11. I return every signed contact, every buyer leaving between 2 hours of inquiry. 12. I only work with high qualified buyers who have been pre-qualified with a mortgage lender and have signed a buyer broker agreement. Earn more commissions in less time with less energy spent. I recognize success comes from consistent action, resulting in predictable outcomes. Therefore, I commit to following every step to the 12 steps to some success. Nice job. All right, here we go. We're doing good on sound. I got Russ Orchard here and Steph. Are we doing okay on sound? Are we getting any complaints yet? All right, here we go, gang. All right, opening affirmations. This is where we are. Opening affirmations. I'm a professional salesperson. Get home sold. I use information to help my clients. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. Time out. I got to be able to talk today. I'm glad we're doing this. I use information to help my clients achieve their goals. I price my listings right. I focus on small wins every day. Real estate transactions are abundant in any market. My ability to make me succeed. I get stronger with every step. I'm the master of every situation. My confidence is unshakable because I live with integrity. I have productive thoughts. I take extra care of my body. I start each day with abundance of energy. I am task-oriented. I set clear priorities daily. I know what I want and I get it. I attract and enjoy greater financial abundance each day. My gratitude gives me a little financial success. I think prosperous thoughts. I am prosperous. I handle my money wisely and I profit every day. Taking action is easy for me. I am eager to start each day. I enjoy being debt-free. I exercise daily. I enjoy helping my clients succeed. I eat healthy foods. I'm a real estate expert. My SOI expects me to be their real estate expert. I'm a professional. I'm financially independent. Earn commissionees helping others. I have solutions. Prospect is good for my business. I call expireds and for sale my owners. Prospect is easy for me. I enjoy following up my SOI. People are attracted to my enthusiasm. I use technology to succeed. I get mental strong with every call I make. I'm an outstanding salesperson. I'm a powerful agent. I know how to succeed. I keep positive, excited, fun, all time. Yes! All right, here we go. So you know the drill, most of you. If you don't, I'm going to remind you. And that is this. Number one is that you need to make sure you're writing down at least 10 things in your journal. Grab a piece of paper. 10 things that you are grateful for. Gratitude, man. Gratitude. Let it fill your soul today. Gratitude. Number two is we want to set our intentions. What do you intend to have happen today? Man, there's so much information in regards to what we can do in this arena of our lives. But man, if you can eliminate all the filters of fear, right, all the things that shape the way you intend things to happen, which is that fear, unfortunately, if you can come from that beautiful space, that space of gratitude, and come down here and write down your intentions, and I would encourage you to write down 10 of those, 10 goals, objectives, intentions, and let's make sure we're dialed in. I'm going to switch out this music here, gang, and let's take 5 minutes, and we've got 5 minutes to do that. So happy to be with you guys. And thank you for those who are on the call or who are dialing in and zooming in. Good to own stock in Zoom. That's what I'm thinking. A lot of use this late, really. All right, here we go. Let's do a little.
I'm getting to turn the music off while you're talking if we can. So Samson, it's interfering with your voice. So maybe just down a little bit. That music should be better.
All right, 10 gratitudes. All right, 10 gratitudes. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for you being on this morning Ascent this morning, George.
That's the same thing. That is why it's not the music.
Here's the deal.
This content.
just found that it's
All right, guys. You know, there's a lot to be said, and I appreciate you being with me. There's a lot to be said in regards to this business that we're in. But so much of this business is really about just life, right? Isn't it so much about that? You know, I wrote down some things. I wrote down how grateful I am for my family, how grateful I am for my wife and children, how much I love them, how grateful I am for the sunshine, for the beautiful mountains, for the way in which I'm able to breathe, live, and expand my life. I said I'm grateful for even my leadership and my ability to lead my own life. Guys, look, every single day we've got to come from that place of gratitude, and I cannot overstate it enough. Look, I've had the opportunity to visit, as many of us know, with lots of people across the country. You know, I have that, I would say, that unique opportunity to be able to have the privilege of visiting, speaking, talking, and people asking lots of questions. How are we handling things? How are we doing things? Certainly I'm looking at ways in which other leaders are handling things, the way in which they're speaking to things. And I think there's a lot to be said that sometimes we think that leadership has to be done in only one way. And here's a good example. If there was a war at hand and you were the general or the sergeant in charge, as an example, and you were out to go into gunfire, let's just give a good example of this. You wouldn't hug it out, right? You wouldn't say, let's give everybody a hug here. All right, let's gently go out into the market or out into the war zone. We know that wouldn't happen. And then you might be, though, then sitting or standing at the foot of a hospital bed, and everything's going to come down and everything's going to calm down. And a different level of leadership is needed at the feet of a hospital bed as someone is suffering and having their challenges. And I know that those are two major extremes, but the reason why I'm talking about it, grab my eraser here, the reason why I'm talking to that is that it's a critical component to great leadership to recognize one thing. And if you've spent time with me, when I was 21 years old, I had one of my most important mentors of my life who said these words to me. He said, don't ever forget that one man or one woman can make all the difference in the world. Now, as I remember that moment, as I sat at his desk, and he said those words to me, they have stuck with me for now nearly 30 years. And I say that to you because I hope that you recognize the difference that you make. As even though I was I have to tell you, I was a little bit in a hurry when I came out of my home, and I paused for just a moment, and I looked up to the sky, and I said, today, whose life will be impacted because I showed up? I want to point out to you that as you move through your life, you're going to have opportunities and privileges and deep levels of stewardship to guide, to direct, to navigate, to make a difference in the lives of people. And I simply cannot stress enough, and I will not get off of this soapbox, that you make a difference, and that one person, one man, one woman, one leader, one individual can make all the difference in the world. And as unfortunate as we can look in history, we can look at the people like the Adolf Hitler who made a horrific difference. And yes, one man, crazy, one man made that big of a difference in such a horrific way. And then you can take a step further back and go, well, wait a second, where's better evidence? And then I can start looking at people like the Mother Teresas. I can start looking at the Gandhis, the Martin Luther Kings, the Abraham Lincolns. And frankly, guys, you may not be Abraham Lincoln or mine, but the fact is that you were born to make a difference. And if you forget that in today's world, that could not be more tragic. You have got to recognize that you make a difference. So look, you can hunker down in your homes, and you can certainly love your loved ones. And yes, you can take a moment of reflection within your meditations, or for a moment, you can remain calm. But look, we're on a battleground of directing the traffic of real estate. And there are people who are desperate for you to help them. So yesterday I had the opportunity to, just by random luck, but I also don't know, I think there's probably a little bit of divine intervention. I had the privilege of sitting down at a restaurant yesterday, and lo and behold, there I see is Dave Parker, one of the great agents of Everest and one of the rock stars. We had a conversation about what's going on in today's market, right? What's happening? And he said, you know what I love? He said, my team put 7 deals under contract on Saturday and Sunday over the weekend. And then I was looking at other evidence, and I took a few screenshots. I just want to show you something just very quickly. I want to read a few things to you. And the reason why I want to read these things to you is because I think they're relevant to today's market. Give me just one moment here. I have to tell you, I'm so impressed by some people who have decided to go make a difference. And I'm looking at people like Dave Parker and his team. I'm looking at people like Evan Child. And this is what I got. I'm going to give you what I got on Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Because I get a text from Evan every single day. And boy, I would love to hear your successes, because we're going to talk about that in a second. He said, thank you. Or I told him, great. How about this? I'll start with Thursday, because I said, great job. Thursday, 23 contacts, 4 hours of prospecting, 2 appointments set, 1 presentation given, 1 signed contract. That was Thursday. Here's Friday. Thank you. He said thank you because I told him great job from the day before. Friday, 1 hour of prospecting, 9 contacts, 3 presentations, 1 signed contract. So here we are 2 days. Now it's Thursday, now Friday. Let's go Saturday. 3 hours of prospecting, 16 contacts, 2 appointments attended. I should have another listing today. He's signing from via .loop digitally. Okay. Come on, this is pretty awesome. Yesterday, Monday, 4 hours of prospecting, 31 contacts, 4 appointments set, 2 appointments attended, 1 listing signed, and 1 price reduction. Guys, look at what's going on. See, the thing is that, look, you can look at all of the evidence around you for the reasons why you don't have to work, why you get to sit back in your lazy boy, if you want to call it, of life, and you can sit back and you can wait for things to happen. And what I'm a little bit, I have to tell you, I'm a little annoyed as I've watched a handful of leaders who sit back in their chair, talk all calm, like just love your people, love your family. And I'm not suggesting you shouldn't love your family. It's great that the rich and the affluent talk about sit back, wait, it's all going to be good. But I know those who are listening. 2 things. One, they know that they are in need of great leadership in the marketplace, which you are. But number 2, some of you have to sell real estate. You have a family. You are not completely financially free. You are not sitting back going, well, I'll just wait till this is over. I've got millions of dollars sitting in the bank. So I've really been entertained, unfortunately not in the good way, of all the rich and the famous that keep stating, it'll be fine. We'll get through this. It'll be no big deal. Hug your family. Love them. Okay, I hugged and loved my family yesterday, just like I did a week ago and the week I did before that. And I don't need a national crisis to show me how to love someone. Now I can even say, well, it's put the life of humanity on hold. Well, I don't want to be on hold. Because if everyone else is on hold, then what does that put on hold for me economically? What does it put on hold for you economically? So I go back to what I'm stating again. I am not lacking compassion for the difficult moments. What I'm suggesting to you is that in difficult moments, act. Take action. So I want to share one last other story. I appreciate I had a moment yesterday to spend with Amy Clark, another great agent in the company. And we were sitting down and she said, hey, you know what I realized? I asked my team, hey, what did you do this weekend? They said, well, we kind of stayed close to home. Okay. Well, were you planning on going anywhere? Well, yeah, we were going to go somewhere, but we decided to stay home. You know, we were going to go out to dinner, but we ate at home. We were going to go out to the movie, but we watched the movie at home. And she said these words. I thought it was really profound, guys. I love it. She said, isn't it interesting that the one thing that people are being told to go do, right? I said this to her. I said, isn't it crazy how many people are being told to go work where? At home. Is it not a beautiful deal that we work in an industry where every single thing is right now saying this revolves around one thing, a home. And you have the privilege. This is about mastering a better story, guys. You have the privilege to sell homes, to help people be in a place where they gather in refuge, in safety, in protection, in their home. How cool is that? What a better story than, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? How about, again, we lead? How about, again, we don't then get in a panic? I didn't say be in a panic, but I also didn't say sit back in your chair and just wait for things to unfold and act like nothing's happening and act like we've spoke to everybody in the marketplace. Well, you know, it's all going to pass and you're going to be fine. You know what? You know as well as I do. Let's have a reality check. Some of you don't sell real estate and you don't make sure you get out there. You're going to have problems. You know it. I know it. You know it. So look, no more waiting. Wash your hands. Keep your social distancing. Use your technology. And now step up and lead. That's what we're going to talk about here for a second. Because today's about skill sets. Number one skill set that I want to talk about is being a great leader. Some of you have seen this. When I was in my early 20s, I developed this. I sat down and wrote in a journal and I said, man, what is required of a great leader? Might be a great question to ask of yourself. What's required of a great leader? Because what I would see in my life is I would see some leaders over here, and they were so bold, they were so direct, they were so intense. And I thought to myself, man, is that the only way to be a leader? That's one way to be a leader. And I have to tell you, I probably came out of the womb a little bit this way. I don't know what happened to me, but I'm thinking I came out a little bit bold, direct, and intense, man. It's just who I am, right? It's how I just, I don't know. It's what I was when I was born. I don't know. I can't speak to why, and I can't speak to why you are who you are. But what I can speak to is that this doesn't work in every situation, but it's necessary when you need to direct and navigate at times with people. It's one principle of it. On the other side of that spectrum, which seems to be interesting, that the rich and the famous keep talking about this. They keep talking about be more kind. Couldn't agree with you more. Be kind. Yesterday I had the privilege, they may be listening, to talking to a young lady who shared her difficult moments. And I have to tell you, I saw her just a few weeks ago, and never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that she was dealing with anything difficult. Didn't even cross my mind. Guys, you know this. Treat everybody you know as if they are going through the most difficult moments of their lives, and you will be right most of the time. But when it deals with our health, when it deals with our relationships, and we deal with our economics, there's almost always some level of a crisis going on. So if there is, again, anything you can be kind. I do not disagree with this. This is a really important principle in today's world, right? Kindness. Second, these aren't in any particular order, just getting the concept down. The other thing I keep hearing about is compassion. I've even had a few people say, well, George, are you being compassionate enough? Oh, yeah. I am being compassionate enough. I know people are going through difficult times. I know things are a struggle. I know our mind can become a big mess on the inside at times and get really messed up. I get that, right? Do I have enough patience? Right? Am I patient? So I just want you to look at those two things. Those are on such opposite sides of the spectrum. And in my early 20s, I wrote this down. Now I've developed over the years, I realized, man, if I am always bold, direct, intense, in your face, let's get stuff done, come on, come on, come on. Well, you're not going to like that all the time if I'm leading you. I know you're not. In fact, you'll think if I'm always this, always, you will think I'm probably not the nicest guy in the world. You'll think that maybe this guy's a total jerk even. You might even have other words to describe it. But here's the other thing. If you're always over here on the kind, compassionate, and patient side, and you can never jump over and be bold. Being bold would be as simple as saying, let's take care of some paper and sign a contract. It can be that simple. It can be that simple. And then coming back here and say, hey, I know this is a tough situation with the divorce or, loss of your parent or, selling the estate. I know it is a very difficult situation. And I'm really trying to understand because I want you to know how much I care. But you got to sign the contract so I can help you move through your life. Guys, as you move through your life, this requirement of leadership is necessary, and it could be not more necessary than today. And people always say this to me, and they say, well, who am I supposed to be? This is who you're supposed to be. I'm going to write it up right here. You're supposed to be this. Be what your clients need. Here's the key word here. Need you to be. That's the key factor. Who do they need you to be? You say, well, that seems really manipulative. Well, that means I'm not being myself. That's the whole point. This isn't about you. This isn't about you at all. This is about them. This is about the people you lead. So if you're going to truly be the leader you need to be, you can't just be over here and kind and compassionate, because here's the problem. If you're always over here, I didn't mention this, you will be looked at. If you had a room full of people, I'd be telling them, hey, what would you, if you're always this, what would you be looked at? And you would be looked at as weak. Weak. And you may say, well, wait, I want to be kind and patient, loving to people. I totally get it. But if you're always that, and you don't come over here and get bold, direct, and sometimes elevate just a little bit of intensity, you will be looked at as weak. And if you are always bold, direct, intense, you will be looked at as a jerk. So it's not one or the other. It's both sides of the spectrum for great leadership. And both are needed to make the difference I know that you're capable of making in today's marketplace. So look, be what your clients need you to be. And that is set by this one thing, or two things. Let me give you two words. I'm just going to write, I think, yeah, you can see them up here. I'm going to write down the word intention versus manipulation. That's what I'm writing up here. If you can't see it, I apologize if there's too much glare. But look, intentions versus manipulation. You know what? You're right. If you're trying to be something you're not, to manipulate someone, to force them, to manipulate them into action for your gain only, problematic. But if your intention is to do everything you can to assist, to help, to bless, to serve, to give of yourself and your leadership and what you can do to help them, then that is everything you're supposed to be doing. And sometimes they need your boldness. I had an agent today send me a text. I talked to him yesterday. He said, thank you for the checkup from the neck up, man. Thank you. He goes, man, I was really rattled. And we talked about our new structure. The question I asked him, here's just a little side note. I said, man, what's the new structure for you today? And what are the things you're going to eliminate that are destroying that structure? Because some of you are still just completely engulfed in social media at mega levels. You are engulfed in news. You are engulfed in reading about all the tragedy and the negativity of life. How does that help you be who you need to be for your clients? I know it doesn't help you. I know it doesn't help you. Again, take care of the people you love. Take care of the people you have a great stewardship for. Love them, not just today, not yesterday. Just this should be who you are. You should be radiating. And here's the thing, I've left this big space in here, by the way. And people always say to me, why do you leave that big space until the end? Because this is the deal. The reason why, and this is what we don't like to talk about this in business, but I don't care because I'm going to talk about it because I think it's the truth. The reason that big space is up there is that the middle ground right here of all of this is this. The reason you do what needs to be done on boldness and kindness because of this. Because you love. Because you love them. You may not, I have this reason, you may not even like them, but you love them. You may not like their behavior, but you love them. And there is no space for hate, period. And you live in an abundant universe. So stop working from a place of scarcity. Abundance is everywhere. With every piece of adversity, an opportunity lies. So where will the opportunity be there? But if you are stuck in the scarcity, stuck in the negativity, stuck in thinking about how bad things are, how can you navigate and be, right? Be who you need to be for the client. So as we start to step through these principles of leadership, as we start stepping through who do we have to be, knowing that one person can make all the difference in the world. If you show up in a space of light and brightness, a space of certainty, a place of being the bold leader that's necessary, woven with tons of compassion and kindness, what could happen and what could you do in today's market? Could you do things like Dave Parker, Amy Clark, Evan Child? Man, please send me your stories of success because people want to buy and sell real estate. Everything we do is woven around a home. A home. So what are you going to do today? How will you make a difference in the life of people? You going to be a secret agent? You're going to sit around and wait? You're going to act like it's a holiday vacation? Or are you going to go create? Look, you have choices right now, gang. You can go, you can't even, actually what's crazy, you can't even really go buy business right now. You got two choices. You can go wait for it, or you can go create it. Create it. You're not competing with anybody out there in the marketplace. Your greatest competitor is yourself. The only real measuring stick is what did you do in comparison to what you could have done? What did you do in comparison to what you could have done? What are you going to do today? How many calls will you make? How many people will you speak to? How many conversations will you have? How much difference are you willing to make today in the lives of the people you get the privilege to serve? So look, yeah, Dr. Oz recently said, man, one of the best things you can do is get plenty of rest. I agree. I think that's the same answer a month ago, because this business requires so much of us. Clear thinking, solid center, tons of enthusiasm and energy and focus. You always should be making sure you get enough rest. Best as you can. The nonsense of, well, I'll rest when I'm dead. That is ridiculous. Don't be stupid. Just be blunt. Get plenty of rest. Number 2, exercise. Go do something. Man, what a privilege you get to go. Whether my friends, like where the majority of our agents are, right? In Ventura County and North LA County and Utah, you live in some of those beautiful space. Get outside. Walk. Run. Guess what? You don't need to be in the gym to do push-ups. You can push up on your grass, on your front lawn, on the cement. Get your hands dirty. Ground yourself on the ground. When was the last time you walked outside, took off your shoes, and grounded yourself? A lot of research on that, by the way. A lot of research. Proper rest. Number 2, make sure you're exercising. Number 3, meditate. You can call meditation visualization, prayer, but meditate. Get yourself centered. Isn't that interesting? A doctor, surgeon, high-level dude. Make sure you get enough rest. Make sure you exercise and meditate. Yeah, he has a second tier. He talks about nutrition, hydration. Totally get it. But gang, who's the master of your ship? Who's going to control your mind today? Who's going to set the course of the way in which you lead your life? I'm just trying to get you to focus on the right stuff. My job is to get you to focus on the right stuff. But isn't that interesting that if my job is to help you get you to focus on the right stuff, are you getting people to focus on the right stuff? Are they focusing on the virus? Are they focusing on the joy of life? Are they focusing on the hardship or focusing on the solutions? Are they focusing on the difficult moments or are they focusing on what's possible? Guys, you can make a difference today. I'm challenging you to make sure that you make a difference. You have every capacity to do so. Don't underestimate what you're capable of doing. Don't underestimate what you can do today. So look, in minimum standards, just a call out of action. You make sure you're writing in your journal, you're asking yourselves great questions. You make sure that you meditate. You make sure that you exercise. You make sure that you are getting enough rest. Setting that all aside, the difference I want to make sure of is that you're doing this. I want you to make sure you're talking and communicating with people. Look, it's pretty simple, gang. Most of you, probably half of you at least, have an iPhone or some mechanism to call people. I'm just curious, what would happen if you randomly FaceTime people? What would happen if you videoed and just did 5 videos today or 10 little videos today to the people that you love, to the people that you have stewardship for your clients? Look, what if you just sent a video to your parents and said, hey, mom, dad, I'm just thinking about you. Just want you to know I love you. And what happens if you did the same thing and you talked about the business and what's great in the market to every one of the clients or potential clients or the sphere of influence that you call today? What happens if you sent a little video to a for sale by owner and talked about the importance of leadership in today's marketplace and recognizing that these are difficult times and that you're just simply here to help? You've got to think how to restructure parts of your business. And some of you are coming up with brilliant ideas. And some of you are sitting back and going, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Here's my closing words to you. We're going to do some affirmations. In fact, Russ, if you can help me, and our staff, can you get that music just so it's not ready to kick on? It's on a playlist, on the morning affirmation playlist. Just pick a song. But I just want to point out these statements. Ready, fire, aim. That's what most people do. I'm going to get ready. Oh, so I'm ready. Then okay, now I can aim. I'm going to fire. Or ready, fire, or actually I did it wrong. Ready, aim, fire. I so got it in my mind, but what I want you to think is ready, fire, aim. And you say, well, wait a second here. Why do you say ready, fire, aim instead of ready, aim, fire? Because of this. If I got every single thing that I needed to ready to do, like this little Zoom call that we're doing with, 100 and something people on it right now, I can see. Look, if I did and had to get everything ready and knew exactly every point of that destination to what it's going to be, I'd never even get started. So some of you just simply need to get ready, in so many words, get on a phone and see where it heads. Get on a phone or get on a video and send an email or a text email or a bomb video or whatever you want to use, a mechanism technology to send a quick video and see what happens. Some of you are so concerned about the outcome that you never even get started. So again, ready, fire, aim. It might even be fire, aim, and get ready. But I do know this. You got to take action. You got to take a jump. You got to take a leap. You got to do some things that great leaders do. Sometimes you don't know all the answers. You don't know where everything's going to end up, but you're going to act. And some of us have what's called the rocking chair syndrome, where lots of action, but no movement. You're not going anywhere. That is unacceptable for this group. You got to demand more of yourself, and I'm going to demand more of you also. So, we're going to do some affirmations. I was asked, are you going to do less affirmations because you're standing here alone? No. Why would I do that? Well, isn't it a little weird to do it alone? Yeah, it's weird to do it alone at times. But I've done it so many times over my lifetime because I don't just go do this stuff for a show. I do this stuff because I know that it's going to change the story. And I like the fact that I say things like, I am grateful and thankful. Because I might not say that today if I don't read it and say it out loud. And I don't need an army of people to tell me to do it. Because I'm going to do that despite whether or not you're here or not. Because my commitment is I'm going to go out and make a difference, be the leader I need to be, make a difference in the lives of the people, show my love, my compassion, my patience, and my kindness, be bold when I need to be, direct when I need to be, tell people that I'm here to help, and it's all going to be okay because we're going to get through this together. Because it will be when you show up. Show up mentally, emotionally. Get your heart right. Get your center. Find it and act. Make the calls. Make the calls. Standing up. Light, bright, open. Stop hunkering down over your desk. Not breathing, shallow breathing. You can't be who you need to be in that space. So guys, come on. Today is the day you step up. Just like you're supposed to step up yesterday. Every day you're engaged to work, you make it happen. And how we make it happen is we make calls. We do videos. We send them out. And we connect to our people, whatever source you want it to be. I am not worried about your source of business. I'm worried about you making a difference in whatever source of business you choose to make. All right, I can keep going, man. I am lit to have a great day. Let's go. All right, here we go. All right, we got some music on. All right, here we go. I succeed because I've done my goals. I am an optimist. I like talking to new people. I know it's important to me. I remember people's names. I have a daily plan I follow. I'm passionate about real estate. I know consistency is my greatest tool. I like asking questions and listening. I enjoy reading to improve my sales skills. My thoughts be my oceans, acts, results. I focus on my dreams daily. My presentation is powerful and persuasive. I improve my skills daily. I am happy. I love the prospect because it feeds my business. I see my future is awesome. I love my life. I am grateful and thankful. I control my thinking. I believe in me. I feel outstanding. I use my beliefs and prophecy daily. I get things done. I provide extra customer service. I drink water daily. I connect with people. People love me. I love others. I am disciplined and accountable to my daily schedule. I prospect daily. I set appointments daily. I'm a master persuader. I achieve my goals. I'm a real estate rock star. I am passionate about my life. I live every day with purpose. I am confident in my sales skills. I know my destiny. I am healthy and strong. I am powerful. I'm unstoppable. I keep positive, excited, fun, yes. Have a great day. Make it happen and make a difference.